Hi Flosstube, this is Rachel, the Pacific Coast Stitcher. Welcome to Flosstube number 1. And this is going to be all about my stitching journey. I'm going to give you a little introduction, an overview about what my channel and my goals are for the channel. And then today I have FFOs, finishes, whips, some haul, and then plans for November. So I took some notes, obviously Flosstube number 1, I'm a little bit nervous. So I took some notes, so if you see me looking down, that is what I'm looking at, because there's definitely a couple things that I want to cover. First of all, I have been stitching since 2019. My mom got me into cross stitch. She used to cross stitch back in the 80s. And took a break, and then with just the new wave of designers and cross stitch getting revived, she got back into it, and in turn introduced me to it in October of 2019, right before COVID, and I just took to it immediately. I, at the time, was having anxiety, COVID hit, and it was just, stitching for me is my therapy. I am all about the process of stitching, creating something from scratch, and I was hooked from the get-go. And we have so much fun stitching together. It's something great that we share. And then also we have a group of about 8 or 9 of us that have a little cross-stitch group called the Cross-Stitch Cuties. So shout out to the cuties. I also, just a couple more things about my stitching history. I always stitch in hand. I'm a stitch in hand stitcher. I love it. I did start with a hoop, but that didn't last very long. My fabric styles have evolved as my stitching has evolved. I did start on 14 count. Now 32 count even weave Lugana is my favorite. I still stitch a lot on 28. But I prefer I prefer 32 even weave. My why for starting this Flosstube channel is community is really, really important to me. I'm a school teacher. I am taking a break from school. Right now I just got married. So, and we also just moved, and I'm in a new town and haven't found my community yet here. And I felt called to do Flosstube for quite a while now, and I just wanted to jump head into this community and give back. The cross-stitch community has given me so much over the last 4 years that I in turn want to share back with you all. And I have to say, we are a very great, supportive community, and I'm just looking to get a little bit more involved. So that is my intro and my why. An overview, what you can expect from Pacific Coast Stitcher is I'm gonna film about once a month. I'll probably do it towards the end of the month because I am what you could call an in-season stitcher. So I prefer to stitch on projects for the season that we are in. So I am still, today's October 30th, will be stitching Halloween until tomorrow, and maybe even the first couple days of November. Halloween stitching is my favorite, but I like to stitch in the season that we're in. So November will be all fall harvest stitching, and then I will start my Christmas stitching in December. That will overflow into January with some winter stitching. So a lot of the stitching that I am currently doing is I won't FFO it until right before next season and have it out next year. So you can expect a video once a month. You will see lots of new starts. FFOs is gonna be new for me. My mom usually is my FFOer. However, since I have moved, we're not as close location distance-wise. So my sewing machine is officially permanently out, and I plan to elevate my FFOing here. So you'll see new starts, FFOs, whips. I would like to at some point, I think it'd be fun to do little stitch with me sessions like on Flosstube Lives. We'll just see how it goes and take it take it one floss tube at a time. So let's get right into it. FFOs, I actually have quite a few today because I wanted to get some things done for this Halloween season. So actually, a couple of my things are around me as well. Let's first start right over here. You can see my Salem Sisters stitchery from Primrose Cottage. And I stitched this season as well as FFO'd it. I used the called for fabric. It was a 32 count vintage country mocha, I believe. All the called for flosses. I'm a sucker for the floss packs and the finishing kits from Primrose Cottage. They make it so easy to it's a one-stop shop. So there's really no excuse to not finish things when it's all just right there for you. This is my first hoop finish ever, and I absolutely love doing a hoop finish. I will find myself doing a lot more of these in the future. I loved the stitch. It went very quickly. The only thing I did was I changed the Jack pumpkin. I left off his face. For me, it was just a tad too busy. Very, very cute, but I went ahead and left it off. And so I just finished it in the hoop. I did just fabric on the back, and I followed Kimberly's from the Fat Quarter Shop, her hoop finishing tutorial, and just a simple bow. I use Chantel 141, her bow kits that she sells, and the tutorial is 2 minutes, super easy. Yeah, so that was my first. You could count it as all the things: a start, a finish, FFO. My next was over here on this tree, the spooky cute ornaments from Fat Quarter Shop. I did 6 of these. This is my first time displaying on a tree like this and finishing in these little tart pans. So I just picked out 6 of my favorites and stitched on the called for fabric with the called for floss, and followed Fat Quarter Shop's tutorial. Again, super easy. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the most crafty person. I am creative, but I definitely need the tutorials and visuals for finishing since it is still so new for me. Let's see what else here. Let's do the last 2 Halloween ones. So this was my first time getting some of my cross stitch professionally framed. These are 2 Primrose Cottage patterns, and now that I've gotten them back, I have an idea of kind of what I would do different next time, but they are absolutely beautiful, and I think framing just highlights the cross stitch so beautifully. So this here, I loved this frame. This is Happy Halloween by Primrose Cottage, and I used 28 count Monaco. I tea-dyed this myself, and my sweet husband is husband of a week is giving me direction here, so which is fine. I'm happy to take it. Called for flosses. Absolutely adore this pattern. Again, easy stitch. My favorite part of this stitch is the ghost with the bow, and then I love the boots for the 2 L's. So I think there's a little bit too much room at the top, so the next time I would have all of the spacing between the stitching and the framing be the same all the way around, like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Okay, so that was my first frame piece that I got back, and then my second one, I got these framed at Michael's. I'm gonna try Hobby Lobby next time too. This is also a Primrose Cottage pattern. It is called The Witch Next Door. This, I believe, is stitched on 25 count light taupe, called for flosses. I absolutely loved this stitch. So I started it last year, 2023, and I finished it this year. in October. I finished at the end of September and then took it in for framing. I do love this frame. Again, the spacing between the framing and the stitching, I feel like there's maybe too much space at the top, but I do love it, and I just know next time kind of what to look for. And the frame is, I love the texture of the frame. So as you can see, I do enjoy my Halloween stitching. Two other FFOs. I did tell you guys that I recently got married. I just got married last week. So I did a wedding gift stitch for my husband. And it is Dirty Annie's Southern Style. So I found this pattern, gosh, it was probably a year ago. And I don't remember where I saw it from, but you can get the pattern on Etsy. And this is it here. And it's a Dirty Annie's Southern Style. I used 28 count Monaco that I coffee and tea dyed. And it's We Met on the Internet, which we did meet on the internet 30 years-ish ago. Yeah, it's a story for another time. The only thing I changed is the top right here, that heart. On the pattern, it was a hashtag sign, and I went ahead and just, I liked it as the heart there, so. And I just picked up the back piece from Hobby Lobby. I did 2 sets of finishing board, and I put fabric on one, and then I layered the stitched piece with the nice little filling that you put on your stitching, and it puffs it up a little bit. You know, I'm still learning all the terms for finishing. And then I just took some twine and hot glued it around. But super simple finish, again, for my husband to place in his office. And my last one is in prep for Christmas. I did finish a pillow from Primrose Cottage, Warm Winter Wishes, and it is stitched on, gosh, it was the called for, and I don't remember if it's 28 or 32 light taupe. I'm still having a challenge with sewing the rickrack on as the trim, so I went ahead and just picked up a different Lady Dot Creates and used that as the border here. But this again was stitched with all of the called for fabric. And as you can see, I finished like Primrose Cottage. Not very cute, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, so those are my FFOs. I tried to remember designer, pattern, floss, thread, and then just some thoughts of mine. If you have any questions, you can just put them in the comment box below and I'll respond to you. So finishes. I only have one finish right now. We're kind of jumping in at the middle of my stitching journey, not at the beginning of my journey. So there is a stack of stuff that I have that needs to be FFO'd. There is a stack of whips. I probably have 30 whips. So we're kind of just jumping in, and I'm gonna start where we are today. So I have one finish that I just finished 2 days ago, and it is, surprise, surprise, by Primrose Cottage. It was their free stitch September, so the first one that they've done. Boos, Hisses, and Cross Stitches. And I bought the kit that came with the 32 count Stormy Night, I believe. And the called for threads. These are Cottage Garden threads. This is my first time using Cottage Garden. I absolutely loved the threads. Loved the threads. I didn't change anything on this pattern, just stitched it as it is. And I'm sorry for the wrinkles, I did not iron. Again, so I love stitching words. So this was, again, a really quick stitch. Took me maybe 3 evenings. And then I do have the finishing kit. So you will see that FFO'd on my next video. And we're gonna move into whips. I just have a few whips because I'm finishing out October and we'll be making that switch to November. So let me go through my whips. John, the current whip I need is over there. Thanks. So whips. This project here is by Blackbird Designs. I, started this probably 2 years ago. There's no reason why it shouldn't be finished. It's words, I love stitching it. It's one color thread. It is Halloween Greetings by Blackbird Designs. Thank you, love. Halloween Greetings by Blackbird Designs. And I coffee tea dyed, maybe even Rit dyed this fabric a couple years ago with my mom. And it is 28 count Monaco. And let me show you what I've got so far. You guys bear with me as I'm trying to learn the best ways to show you the stitching. But that is a variegated floss, which has the orange to the brown. It is a Weeks dye work floss. It's the called for floss called Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern. So I've got some of the border done. Again, I could get this done very quickly, but I think I will wait and finish it next year. So that is a whip. Another whip that I have, I wanted to, since I finished The Witch Next Door this last September, I wanted to start another big Halloween project. So I have made a really good start on Holiday Banner Halloween by Little Stitch Girl. And I've gotten quite a bit. A nice good start. So when I pick it up next year, I will have a good portion of it ready to go. Ready to just continue on. I am using the called for flosses, and it's a mix of Weeks Dye Works and DMC, as you can see here. Here we go. The fabric I am using is 28 count light taupe. Or maybe, let me see, I know I'm using the called for, it's 32 count light taupe. So that is a whip, and I would like to put a couple more stitches in before I start my November stitching, but we will see how that goes. And then I have one other whip, and it is Primrose Cottage, Just Tricks, No Treats. Please forgive me, I don't have the pattern right here in front of me, but this is my start and my progress on it. I ideally would like to finish this in the next day and a half. I would like to finish this in the next day and a half, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so those are my whips. And next, I think we will go into haul. So haul is going to be super fun because I have never lived near an LNS before. And I just moved, and my local LNS is 12 minutes away from my house. So my local needle LNS is Stitcher's Paradise. So I do live in the Las Vegas area, and I made my first visit there, and talk about being enabled and eye candy. If you've never been to an LNS, it changes the whole cross-stitching experience. To being able to see things stitched, to touch flosses, to go through fabrics, to look at the different notions, I actually just want to go up there every single day and just sit and stitch and just enjoy and talk to the people that come in and see all the fun things that's in that store. So there will be, I'm sure, lots to come on my channel from Stitcher's Paradise. I did my best to kind of restrain myself on my first visit. So what I bought was the flower floss drops from Primrose Cottage. Very cute, nice and sturdy. I really, really like them. I'm using their, in the kit for, I believe No Tricks or Treats was in their Sip and Stitch, and their floss rings came, the candy corn floss rings came in the Sip and Stitch, and I really like them because they're sturdy, and when you write on it with Sharpie, it doesn't smear off. But you can also, when you're done, you can clean the number off and then use it for another floss in the future. I typically use the little plastic egg rings from Fat Quarter Shop to floss to keep all of my DMC on. So when I'm done stitching with these, I will go put them on the little egg rings, and I will wipe the number off on here and use these for another Halloween project next year. So I picked up the Primrose Cottage's flower floss drops at Stitcher's Paradise. I also have seen many, many, many of you showing Teresa Kogut's Hello Halloween book. It's a little glary there, but I know most of you have seen it. I would love to stitch the whole big pattern here on the front, but I'm very cautious of how many big projects I take on because I do like to finish things and be able to display them. Even though I'm a process stitcher, I try to not have things sitting around for too long. And I feel like if I started this now, I wouldn't pick it up till again next year, and I already have the Happy Halloween banner going. But what I think I could definitely see myself doing is what another one of you Flosstubers suggested, was just stitching a row of witches. I think that would be really, really cute, making it into a small pillow. But phenomenal patterns by Teresa Kogut, beautiful, beautiful book. And I'm excited to have that as part of my cross stitch collection, and we'll see what I stitch out of there. I got one thing from Primrose Cottage, which is I bought the kit for the Free Stitch Friday Give Thanks. So that pattern comes out the first Friday of November, and I have the fabric. I chose 32 count, and it comes in taupe, called 4 colors. I believe there'll be a finishing kit for this too, which I will buy. Okay, so that was from Primrose. And then I also got a new bag. I have quite a variety of bags from different designers and makers, and I will just, as I purchase, I will show you those. I do love, love, love this designer, DotDotGooseDesign. I got her cute little pink Halloween boo bag. Very well made. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of DotDotGooseDesign. And then her little buddy that goes along with it. Very sturdy. These are great. I typically always have a floss buddy with my project because I do use these all the time. They're very, very handy for keeping my flosses organized. Otherwise, they end up in just a little ball. And then I have 2 gifts. My mom gifted me this beautiful project bag. And I haven't seen one like this before. It has just a button on the front here for you to close. And the designer maker is Judy's Project Bags. And I'll just zoom up close here on her card if you wanted to take a look. But it's a beautiful bag, stitched very well. Very, very roomy inside. It could definitely fit one of my bigger projects in. But the fabric is fun. I like when purple's mixed in with Halloween. So that was a fun little surprise from my mom. And then she got me the 2024 Halloween cross stitch magazine. I have been trying to up my smalls game, and this is jam-packed with smalls. So I will see myself definitely stitching quite a few of these for next year. So that's it for my haul. And then let me check my notes here. All right, we're gonna go through future plans, and then I will give a little closing. So future plans. I probably will still work on my Halloween whips for another day or two. I try to drag that out as long as I can. And I only have a few Thanksgiving harvest pieces that I've done to have displayed around my house. So I'm looking to stitch quite a bit more to add to that collection. However, I think what happens for me is I get so distracted with all the Halloween stitching that I forget about fall and harvest. So plans, you know, I pulled out what I likely will stitch on. There was a lot more to choose from, but I think I will start I Love Fall Most of All by Primrose Cottages. This came out last year. And I did buy the finishing kit as well as the floss pack. So that is going to be in the works for November. If I start a bigger project, if I start one, it will be Leaves of Autumn by Primrose Cottages. I just am not sure I'm ready to start a big one and then leave it to roll into next year. Also in this bag, if you're curious, I have Autumn Alphabet, but I'm not sure how I'll stitch that this year. Like I said before, I am a school teacher, so I would like to do all the alphabets and rotate them through in my classroom. Another potential plan is by stitching with the Housewives, word swap pumpkins. I do have the floss here ready to go, as well as, which I pulled fabric for it, and 28 count white Monaco, which is the called for, and these are the called for flosses. Again, like I said, I like to stitch projects that have words on them. I have stitched a few of the other word swaps, and they go fairly quickly. So that is in the works. And I feel like the colors on pumpkins is more in line with the coloring that I used for my November decorating, my harvest fall decorating. So I could have easily lumped that with Halloween too, but I figured we could let that roll into November. What else do I have here? Hands-on design. This is definitely one I'm going to stitch this month and start. It is Gathering Together by Hands-on Design. I have all the floss ready to go. And I have picked out 32 count platinum to stitch on. And just this bag is actually new too. I just forgot to put it in with my haul. This again is a Goose bag that I thought would be perfect for that gather project. Yes, I do try to match projects in bags. I think that's just kind of the fun. I like the accessories, and as you can see, I have the floss bitty that goes with it. So loving that design by Hands On Design. I'm excited to start that. And then, bloop, bloop. Yes, okay, so along with harvest stitching, I have started a few of the 12 monthly minis by Primrose Cottage. I want to stitch September, October, and November this month. So that is, let me look on the front here. Yeah, they're all kind of just right here in the front. It'll be the pumpkins and these two. And I've stitched a couple of the summer ones. So those are my plans. You never know what my work is way in as well, but those are kind of the projects I have my eyes on. Okay, now, what about you? What are you working on for November? What current whips do you have? I would love to see and hear about what is keeping you busy with your stitching these days. So please comment below with your current whips. Also, I would love to know what topics you would love for me to cover in future Flosstube episodes. I am open to suggestions. I am super, super excited about my Flosstube journey and starting it, Flosstube #1 official. And please be sure to subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the end of November with more of my stitching journey. It is great to be here, and I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful November and start to your holiday season. Bye.